Hello guys, this is Modest Major here, bringing you some commentary over some 39 and 4 multi-team gameplay. It's on the map Adrift. 39 and 4 is kind of a disappointing score for me. I much would have preferred 40 and 4. It really aggravated me when I looked at the scoreboard screen afterwards and saw, 39 and 3, and I was just like, why couldn't it be one more kill more? Because 40 and 4 in a title looks so much better than 39 and 4. It just looks a bit awkward. And as a result, I'm more hesitant to uploading it, but the score itself, the gameplay itself is actually really fast-paced, and there's a couple of really cool moments in it. There's an overkill in it, and there's a double kill with a ninja in it, or something like that. It's pretty entertaining to watch, so I hope that keeps you guys occupied as you listen to the commentary. I had a specific topic to talk about today, and that is how YouTube has changed over the years, and one of the changes that I think has negatively impacted it. And I don't want to just talk about, some sort of nostalgia commentary when I'm like, old YouTube is better than new YouTube sucks. Because we got enough of that out there, and to be honest, it's not very constructive. And it's overlooking some very specific details about new YouTube. It's overlooking some very significant strengths, like the production values have been vastly increased. For the most part, you only see HD captured content. It's very easy to find content that you like in some way or another, whereas back in old YouTube it might not necessarily have been as easy. But there are a few things about old YouTube that I think worked in its favour. And old YouTube, and when I'm talking old YouTube, I'm talking like Call of Duty 4 days and Call of Duty 5 days, and even leading up to Modern Warfare 2 days. I mean, early Modern Warfare 2 is when I started watching YouTube myself, but I still looked back into the history of YouTube, and I still would say that I know enough about it. I know enough about the topic and who, started commentating. In fact, the first person to ever do a gameplay commentary was a man by the name of Blame Truth, who is, still makes videos to this day, but he's not nearly as successful. I think literally the reason he has as many subs as he does, not to sound offensive, is because he was the first one to do it, and it's such a significant, a momentous occasion. And he just got the recommendation from a subscriber to do it. He didn't even actually come up with the idea himself. But anyway, moving on from that, it was sort of like YouTube when it first started off was like the wild, wild west of the internet, in terms of gameplay commentaries, it was a very derelict format to, express your opinions. There wasn't really much structure, there wasn't many guidelines, you just kind of went in and you winged it. And as a result, you would get a large amount of bad people commentating because they were starting from scratch, they didn't necessarily know what to do. A lot of people were just uploading gameplay, and it was very hard to make yourself stand out in that respect because it kind of looked a little bit unprofessional. It just looked like random people talking over gameplay. There wasn't much structure. However, what I do think it meant is that because there was this less competition, and they had to work to make this look like a viable platform for people to watch on a regular basis, it meant that a select group of people were very perfectionist in what they were trying to attempt. They were trying to make commentating as good as it physically could be because they had a low skill set, because there wasn't much at their disposal. A lot of them probably weren't even the best editors. They didn't necessarily know how to use editing software in the most advanced of ways, so they had to bring their commentaries to life with interesting topics, really good solid gameplay, and a lot of tips and strategy and stuff like that. And I think as a result, videos in general, especially in the early Modern Warfare 2 days and the late Cold World at War days, were just something to behold, if I may say so myself. I remember certain commentaries just bringing that game to life, bringing so many possibilities into the foray, and just making you think, wow, I didn't know you could look at games in this way, I didn't know you could dissect a game in this manner, and find out how to get better, find out what the best weapons to use, what the best setups to use. And as a result, it was just sort of interesting. Whereas now I see it as current YouTube, there are other ways of bringing your channel to life. For example, one of the biggest ways is you know, jumping on a piece of news early. For example, like Destiny news, people are trying to find the earliest sources of information about that game so they can make a video as quickly as they can. But I don't necessarily think that is a good way of expressing yourself or expressing your talent in either gaming or your knowledge of gaming. That is just, you know, first come, first serves. And it's not necessarily something that I approve. I much preferred the idea of talented, you know, people who played games on a regular basis trying to express their gameplay videos in a way that was just new and interesting and exciting. Whereas now I see it as like this tick box of, you know, you've got to have the good production camera, you've got to jump on the piece of news, you've got to give the right tip at the right time, the right jump at the right time. And it's not necessarily about, you know, how interesting of a person you are or how insightful you are. And I think as a result that's kind of devalued YouTube for me. There's a lot of you know, there's a lot of content on YouTube that I see get successful, and I know it's only because it's ticked all the boxes. It's not because they brought something new to the table or made a video that was just spectacular. They just got the right piece of news at the right time, and that change has kind of bothered me a little bit. Anyway, I've been Monster Major. I hope you guys enjoy the commentary. Peace out.